You know that feeling, right? You're trying to listen to English.
Right.
Maybe a movie, YouTube, could even be a conversation you're in, and you know the words individually.
Mm-hmm.
You know the grammar, but when someone speaks at, full speed, it just kind of blurs together.
Oh, yeah. It really does feel like the words are just running into each other, doesn't it? And maybe sounds are disappearing, and suddenly you're thinking, wait, what?
Right.
Even though you know the vocabulary.
Exactly.
And if that sounds familiar to you listening, trust me, you are absolutely not alone. It's probably one of the biggest hurdles for English learners.
Yeah, it really is. And the thing is, it's usually not because your vocabulary is, too small or your grammar shaky. It's more about this fundamental difference between English on the page.
Right. Written English.
And English as it's actually spoken. Real, natural, fast English.
That's the core of it. Because when native speakers chat, especially, casually, they just don't say every single word perfectly clearly separately, like you might hear in language learning recordings sometimes.
Definitely not like a textbook.
No way. Words get linked, sounds change, sometimes they disappear completely, and there's this whole rhythm thing going on based on which words get stressed. It's not just word, word, word.
So if you've mostly trained your ear based on reading, you're kind of missing how the language actually sounds in the wild.
It's like trying to understand music just by looking at the notes on the page but never actually hearing the song played. You're missing the performance, the flow.
That's a great analogy.
And this is the good news, right? This isn't some impossible code to crack. These changes, they're not random. They actually follow patterns.
Okay, patterns we can learn.
Exactly. And you can train your ears to pick up on these patterns. Your brain is really good at adapting. You just need to give it the right input.
And that is exactly what this deep dive is all about today. We've been digging into the sources on this, really unpacking why English sounds fast, and crucially, giving you 4 really powerful strategies to help you decode it.
Think of this as your kind of toolkit for tackling fast, natural spoken English.
Yeah, the toolkit. I like that. So by the end of this, you should have a much clearer idea of why native speakers link words, how things like reductions and contractions change the sound.
Those tricky ones like gonna and wanna.
Right. And how just focusing on the key words can make a huge difference. Plus, we've got a really practical method. It's called shadowing to actually practice this stuff.
Yeah, shadowing is super effective. We'll get into that.
Our whole mission here is basically to give you the tools so that the next time you hear English at its natural pace, it starts to sound, less like a confusing rush.
And more like something you can actually understand. Because once you start recognizing these patterns, honestly, the perceived speed just drops. It feels slower.
Okay, I'm ready. Ready to dive into the source material on this.
Let's do it.
All right. Strategy number 1, and this feels like the absolute bedrock. Native speakers just do not speak word by word.
No, they really, really don't. And it's not always about being in a massive hurry, though speed plays a part. It's often just about making speech smoother, more efficient. I mean, try saying, what do you want to do? With a little pause after each word.
Yeah. What do you want to do?
Feels so clunky, like a robot speaking.
Exactly. So instead of these separate little blocks of sound, what's happening?
You're connecting them, linking them up.
Precisely. Words flow one into the next. This happens a lot, especially when, say, a word ends in a consonant sound and the next one starts with a vowel, or just with common little function words like to, you, of, they just sort of merge together.
Okay. And the sources gave us that, the absolute classic example of this, right? What do you want to do? We all learn those words.
Right. Looks simple on paper, but when it's spoken naturally, it transforms. It sounds much more like what I want to do.
What I want to do. Wow, yeah. That's almost unrecognizable if you're listening for the written form. If your brain is stuck on what do you, it'll fly right past you. You'll completely miss what I want to do.
Okay, let's break that specific one down because it shows a few things, right?
Yeah.
How does what do you become wadaya?
Okay, so what do you... That little phrase gets smushed together all the time. The Thai sound at the end of what. It often softens, becomes more like a quick sound, especially before a vowel like in do, or sometimes in really fast speech, it kind of disappears.
Okay.
And then do you, the dat sound and the y sound often link up and create almost a j sound, like ju or ju.
Right, I think I can hear that. Ju.
Yeah. So you put what with the softened t or no t together with that j sound, and you get what I.
Wadaya? Okay, okay. That makes sense when you hear it broken down.
Yeah.
And then the second part, what do you? Oh, want to. That's another huge one. In natural everyday speech, it almost always becomes wanna.
Wanna.
Yeah, you just don't really hear a clear T at the end of want and another T for two. It just smooths out wanna.
So that whole sentence just flows together. What do you want to do?
Exactly. It's like the sounds blend. The end of one word flows right into the start of the next. The source material had some other good examples too, like did you eat?
Which very often comes out sounding like did you eat?
Did you eat? Okay, so same thing there. The D and the Y making a J sound.
You got it. That T from diddlings to the Y and you didja. Quick and smooth. Did you eat?
And what about, I don't know, hear that all the time.
Yeah. And it often links and reduces down to I don't know.
I don't know.
Yeah, the don't know part becomes dunno. That T and don't usually gone. And the vowel sounds in both words get shorter, less distinct. Dunno.
I don't know. Okay. And one more from the source. I am going to go.
Right. This one shows a couple of things happening. First, I am usually contracts to I'm. We see that written, but it's how it sounds too.
Sure.
And then going to very, very commonly reduces to gonna.
Gonna. Heard that one a lot.
So the whole phrase I am gonna go naturally becomes I'm gonna go.
I'm going to go. Okay. So it seems like a big part of this is training your brain to recognize these new sound units. Like wadaya isn't W-H-A-T-D-O-Y-U. It's just the sound wadaya, which means what do you?
That's exactly it. You nailed it. It's recognizing the sound pattern that represents the meaning. Learners often know the individual words perfectly well, but they haven't tuned their ears to these connected, reduced forms.
It's like learning the shortcuts.
Yeah. Once you start listening for these specific links like didja, dana, gonna, wanna, it's like you suddenly have the key. It starts to make sense.
Which leads us perfectly into strategy number 2.
Yeah.
Actively learning these common reductions and contractions we've just been talking about.
Yes. They are absolutely crucial. Reductions and contractions are basically the shortcuts native speakers use all the time to make speech flow better and, yeah, go faster.
We know contractions, right? The ones with apostrophes. Your isn't, don't.
Right, those are written down. But reductions, they happen purely in the sound, even if the words are written out in full, like wanna for want to.
And the sources really highlight the most common ones you absolutely need to get your ear around. We already hit want to becoming wanna. Let's take another sentence. Instead of hearing maybe, do you want to get something to eat?
Nice and slow.
You're much more likely to hear something like, do you want to get something to eat?
Whoa, okay. Do you want to get something to eat? Let's unpack that. Do you becomes...
Just a quick, weak sound.
Okay, want to is wanna. We got that.
Something often becomes something. That final G sound just drops off.
Something, right.
And even to eat can reduce to eat. The to becomes just a T sound attached to eat.
Wow. So like 4 reductions in one short question.
Exactly. It happens constantly. And going to becoming gonna. That's as common. Instead of he is going to be here soon.
You'll hear. He's going to be here soon?
Yep. He's a contracts to he's and going to becomes gonna. He's going to be here soon. That gonna is a really reliable signal for going to. Definitely. And another big one, got to, often becomes gotta. Like in, I have got to leave now. Or even just, I got to leave now.
So now it's like, I got to leave now.
I got to leave now. Yeah. That gotta sound is essential.
Absolutely. And the source mentioned a few others we touched on, I don't know, reducing to, I don't know.
That's right. Don't know.
And let me.
Yeah, what happens to that?
It frequently becomes let me.
Let me.
Yeah, like, let me see that. The T at the end of let usually just disappears and the me gets reduced. Let me.
Okay, let me and give me.
Similar thing. Reduces to gimme.
Gimme, like give me a call later.
Exactly. Give me a call. The V in give often sort of blends into the M of me. Gimme.
So you can see how this causes problems. If your brain is rigidly expecting to hear the full sounds, let me give you that.
But instead what you actually hear is something much smoother and faster, like, let me give you that.
Yeah. Give you becoming give ya, another reduction.
Right. So you hear, let me give you that, and it just doesn't match the pattern you learned from reading. That mismatch, that friction, that's what makes the speech feel confusingly fast.
So the solution is learn the shortcuts.
Pretty much. Actively learn to recognize these specific, super common reduced forms. Wanna, gonna, gotta, lemme, gimme, dunno, what I, did ya. There are more, but these are huge. Start listening for them specifically when you hear English. Movies, songs, conversations. Tune your ear to these sounds.
It really is like getting a decoder ring for spoken English. You realize it's not just noise, it's these compressed forms.
Exactly.
Okay, that makes a lot of sense. Moving on to strategy number 3. This one's about where you put your focus. You don't actually need to catch every single tiny word.
This is such a relief for many learners, I think. People get so stressed trying to understand every article, every preposition.
Like a, the, is, and.
Yeah. And honestly, native speakers don't even consciously process all those little words when they listen. Our brains are wired to filter. We automatically focus on the words that carry the most meaning.
Right, we zoom in on the important stuff, the new information. And in English, these are usually the content words, yeah.
Exactly. Nouns, main verbs, adjectives, adverbs. Those carry the core message. The little function words, the articles, prepositions, conjunctions, helping verbs. They're the grammatical glue, but they carry less meaning.
And they often get unstressed, right, said really quickly.
They get reduced and kind of glide by. Because English is what we call a stress-timed language.
Stress-timed. What does that mean exactly?
It means the rhythm, the beat of the language, comes from the stressed syllables. And the time between those main beats tends to be roughly the same, even if you have to squish a bunch of little unstressed words in between them.
Okay, so the important words get the emphasis, and the time, and the little words just have to fit in.
Basically, yeah. And the source had a really good example sentence for this. I was thinking about calling you yesterday.
Okay, I can hear that. Thinking, calling, yesterday. They pop out.
Right. Those are the stressed words. They carry the main message. Even if you totally missed I was, about, and you, just hearing thinking, calling, yesterday gives you the gist.
Yeah, you get the core idea. Thinking, calling, yesterday, done.
The other words are just background. Here's the other example from the source. She's probably going to be late for the meeting.
Okay, probably. Late meeting. Those jump out too.
Yep. Those tell you the key info. The likelihood, probably, the situation late, and the event meeting. The other words she's going to be for they're unstressed, faster, less important for basic understanding.
So the trick is to train your ear to listen for those stressed words, the peaks in the sentence, and not get bogged down trying to catch every single little unstressed word in the valleys.
Exactly. You already do this naturally in your own language, right?
Yeah.
Your brain filters for importance. You just need to learn to apply that same skill to the rhythm and stress patterns of English. Stop trying to grab every single grain of sand.
And focus on the big rocks.
So focus on the big rocks. Perfect. Listen for the thinking, the calling, the yesterday.
It takes practice, I imagine, to tune into that rhythm.
It does. But consciously trying to listen for the emphasis, for the beat, makes a huge difference, especially when things get fast.
Which brings us beautifully to strategy number 4, a specific practice technique designed to train your ears for exactly this.
Yeah.
It's called shadowing.
Ah, yes, shadowing. This is, I think, one of the absolute best ways to bridge that gap between understanding written English and understanding spoken English. Fast English.
Why is it so good? What does it actually do?
Well, it forces you, your brain and your mouth, to actually engage with the real sounds of natural English in real time. You're not just sitting back and listening passively.
Right, it's active.
Super active. You're trying to reproduce what you hear, the rhythm, the connections, those reductions we talked about, the speed. It basically trains your listening muscles and kind of helps you feel how these sounds are made.
So it makes your brain better at recognizing those patterns automatically.
Exactly. It helps automate the recognition. It definitely feels awkward when you first try it, maybe a bit silly, but it really works if you stick with it.
Okay, so how do we do it? The source material laid out some clear steps.
Yeah, it's pretty straightforward. Step 1, find a short audio clip. The source recommends just 1 to 2 minutes to start. And crucially, it needs to be real, authentic spoken English.
Like from a movie, TV show, podcast, YouTube?
Yeah, an interview, anything where people are talking naturally. You want to avoid stuff that's been deliberately slowed down for learners because the whole point is to practice with the real thing, the natural speed and flow.
Got it. Real English, 1-2 minutes. Step 2.
Step 2, just listen to it, at least once, probably more, without looking at any transcript or subtitles. Just listen to get the main idea, the gist of what they're talking about. Don't stress about catching every word yet.
Okay, listen for overall meaning first. Then what?
Step 3, listen again. This time, maybe listen a bit more closely. You could try to notice some of those connections or reductions if you want, but really this listen is just prepping you for the next step.
All right. And step 4 is the actual shadowing.
Step 4 is the shadowing. Play the clip again, and this time you speak along with the speaker, or maybe like half a second right behind them, like an echo, a shadow.
Okay. Speaking at almost the same time.
Yeah. And the goal is to match everything as closely as you can. their pronunciation, their rhythm, their speed, and this is key, how they link words and use reductions.
So don't try to say each word separately like reading.
No, definitely not. Copy the stream of sound you hear. If they say gonna, you say gonna. If they blur words together, you try to blur them together in the same way. If they say would I, you say would I.
It's going to feel weird at first, isn't it?
Oh, absolutely. It'll probably feel messy, maybe like you can't keep up. That's totally fine, totally normal. The aim isn't perfection, especially at first. It's about getting your mouth and your ears working together on these natural patterns at speed.
And the source mentioned, if the natural speed is just way too fast when you start shadowing.
Right, good point. If it feels overwhelming, use the playback speed settings. Most players have them now. Slow it down a bit, maybe to 0.8x or 0.75x speed. Practice shadowing at that slower speed until it feels more comfortable.
And then gradually increase it back to normal speed.
Exactly. The key is the active engagement with the sound, however you can manage it.
Okay, this sounds like something we should try. The source had some practice examples, right? We could walk through them.
Yeah, let's do that. We'll say the sentence slowly first, how it looks written down. Then we'll say it how it often sounds naturally, much faster and more connected. And we'll point out the changes. Then you listening can try shadowing right after the natural speed version. Don't worry about getting it perfect.
Okay, first example, casual question. Hey, what are you doing this weekend? Slow version. Hey, what are you doing this weekend?
Okay, nice and clear. But naturally, spoken quickly, it often sounds more like this. Hey, what are you doing this weekend?
Hey, what are you doing this weekend? Okay, big difference. Let's break it down. What are you becomes.
That what did I sound again.
What are you?
Right, and doing.
Often becomes doing. That final G sound frequently gets dropped in informal speech. Doing. What I doing? Okay,
Yeah.
so everyone listening, get ready. Listen to the natural speed version again and try to echo it right after. Ready?
Hey, what are you doing this weekend?
Pause for listener practice. How was that? Feel a bit quick. Try it again. Really try to mimic that flow.
Hey, what are you doing this weekend?
Pause for listener practice.
Yeah.
Good effort. It's just about getting used to those sounds.
Okay, second example from the source, asking for help. Can you help me with this? Slow. Can you
Yeah.
help me with this?
All right. And the natural, faster version.
Often sounds like, can you help me with this?
Can you help me with this?
Mm.
Okay, what changed? Can you becomes.
Can ya. The vowel sound in you gets reduced to a weaker ya sound. Can ya.
Can ya? Got it. And help me.
That often links really closely. It almost sounds like one unit.
Help me. The vowel in me is very short and unstressed.
Help me. Okay. Ready to shadow this one? Listen, then repeat. Can you help me with this?
Pause for listener practice. How did that connection feel? The help me part. Try one more time. Feel the flow.
Can you help me with this?
Pause for listener practice. Excellent. Getting those connections smooth is key.
All right, third practice example. Expressing surprise. I didn't know that. Slow. I didn't know that.
Okay, and fast.
At natural speed, that often comes out as, I don't know that.
I don't know that. Okay, whoa. Didn't becomes...
Yeah, didn't gets heavily reduced here. Sometimes it just sounds like done or maybe a really weak dren, especially right before no.
No. Wow.
Yeah. And then no, that links up too. The end of no flows into that. Maybe sounds like know that or now that, often with the vowel in that reduced as well.
No, that didn't reduction is really tricky. Okay, everyone, give it a try. Listen and shadow.
I know that.
Pause for listener practice. Give it another go. Focus on that dunno sound and the know that link.
I know that.
Pause for listener practice. Fantastic. Seriously, getting your mouth to try these sounds really helps your ear recognize them later.
It really does. Okay, the source had one more little drill for us. Putting a couple of these together, we'll say it naturally, break it down quick, then you shadow.
Let's hear it.
The sentence is, what are you going to do later?
Okay, we've seen the parts. What are you?
Becomes what'ja.
And going to.
Becomes gone.
So the full natural sentence is,
What are you going to do later?
what are you going to do later? All right, listen carefully to that flow, everyone. Get ready to shadow the whole thing.
What are you going to do later?
Pause for listener practice.
Nice. Let's try that one more time. Feel the rhythm. What are you going to do later?
What are you going to do later?
Pause for listener practice.
Awesome job trying those.
Yeah.
Seriously, shadowing feels weird. It feels maybe clumsy when you start. But doing this consistently, even just 5 minutes a day, is so powerful.
It really forces your brain to tune into the real speed, the real sounds, and start recognizing them without thinking so hard. It's active training.
You're reprogramming your ears, basically.
Well, you really are.
Okay, so we've covered a lot. why English sounds fast, connected speech, reductions, focusing on stress, and now this shadowing technique. So now it's time for your challenge, based right on the source material's advice.
Yep, time to put this into practice. Because listening passively is fine, but this kind of active training is where the real improvement happens.
Okay, step 1 for you. Find yourself a short audio clip, like the source said, 1-2 minutes is perfect, and make sure it's real, natural spoken English.
Movie scene, YouTube interview, podcast snippet, whatever interests you. Just make sure it's authentic.
Step 2. Listen to it a couple of times. First time, just get the general idea. Second time, listen a bit more closely. Can you hear any connections, any reductions like gone or wanna? Which words sound stressed? Just try to notice things.
No pressure, just observe.
Step 3. Now, the shadowing. Play the clip and speak along right after the speaker. Try to match their rhythm, their speed, how they connect words. Remember, copy the sound, not the written words.
And if it's too fast?
Don't panic. Just slow down the playback speed a little using the controls. Practice at 0.8x or whatever works, then build back up.
Exactly. Progress, not perfection, is the goal here. It's supposed to feel a bit challenging. That means your brain is working and learning. Mimic those sounds as best you can.
And the source had an extra challenge for anyone feeling brave.
Oh, yeah.
Record yourself shadowing.
Ah, the self-recording test. That's a good one.
Yeah, record yourself, then listen back and compare it to the original speaker. Where do you sound close? Where are the biggest differences? It gives you really specific feedback.
It's incredibly helpful, even if hearing your own voice is a bit strange at first. And hey, we'd love to hear how this challenge goes for you.
Definitely. Let us know what clip you used. What felt hardest about shadowing was the speed, spotting the links, making the reduction sounds.
Yeah, were there specific phrases that really changed from written to spoken? Share your experience. It helps everyone learn.
Absolutely. Leave a comment, find us online. And hey, if you have a friend or a language partner learning English, share this deep dive. Do the shadowing challenge together. Practicing out loud makes a difference.
For sure. So, wrapping up this deep dive, the big takeaway is understanding fast, natural English isn't magic. It's not about waiting for people to slow down.
It's a skill you can build.
Exactly. By understanding how native speakers actually talk, connecting words, using reductions, stressing key info, and by actively training your ear with methods like shadowing.
The more you do it, the more you expose yourself to real English and practice actively, the more your brain just adjusts.
It really does. English starts to sound clearer, less like a crazy rush. It becomes more comprehensible. Your listening will get better.
And think about what that really means, right? Being able to understand fast, natural English.
Yeah.
It's not just about passing a test.
No, it's about connection. It's about accessing culture, really enjoying movies, understanding podcasts fully, having those spontaneous, easy chats with people.
Without constantly asking, sorry, could you repeat that?
Exactly. It opens doors.
Yeah.
So maybe reflect on that. What specific doors would understanding real spoken English comfortably open for you? What difference would it make in your life?
That's a powerful thought to end on, because it really does change things. And speaking of change and improvement, our next deep dive actually builds perfectly on today's topic.
Oh, yeah. How so?
Well, today was all about training your ears to understand others speaking naturally. Next time, we're flipping it. We're looking at how you can sound more natural when you speak English.
Ah, okay. Moving beyond textbook speaking.
Exactly. If you sometimes feel your spoken English is maybe a bit stiff or too formal, or you just want to flow a bit more like a native speaker,
then you definitely don't want to miss the next deep dive. We'll be getting into practical ways to make your own speaking sound more relaxed, more confident, more natural.
So make sure you're subscribed or following us so you catch that one when it drops. It's the perfect follow-up to mastering listening.
Absolutely. In the meantime, keep practicing that shadowing. Train those ears. You can do this.
We'll see you next time for the next deep dive.
Bye for now.